Hey fans, let me tell you about the week I have coming up. We're going to start out taking the Flyin Moose over to Charlotte. I live outside Atlanta. It's about 210 miles, 3-4 hours. We're going to race it in the Lucky Dog Racing League. They have two races. One is, I think, about 8 hours. 4 on Saturday, 4 or 5 more on Friday evening. And then the second race is on Sunday. It starts at noon and goes to 10 p.m. under the lights. No lights required because they're going to have full NASCAR lighting going at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to run the infield course and most of the oval, but with 2 chicanes. Because I think Kathy McCaw's fuss over there at Lucky Dog doesn't want to have everybody going into NASCAR 3 at 120 or 30 or whatever they'll do. They keep getting faster, it's just the racing spiral. But I'm hoping the Moose fits in better. I know it will fit in better in a Lucky Dog crowd, more like Champ Car and Lemons, than it did at WRL, which was more like PCA Club and BMW Club. There were a lot of nice 400 horsepower cars there. And the Moose on a great day is making 190, 200 crank. So yeah, we're doing that, and we're leaving Thursday. And then on Friday, I'm leaving there and I'm going over to Tesla Corsa, in Laguna Seca. It's easy to fly west because you gain 3 hours and you get there almost before you take off. So that's with Ben Schaefer and his Unplugged performance. It's the only chance I get to try the Tesla Model 3 race car before Pikes Peak Hill Climb. We got the hill climb coming up at the end of August. The race is on August 30th. Pikes Peak is just outside of Colorado Springs. It'll be, I believe, the 6th time I've done that race. And I do it for the thrill. I kind of argued that I was not an adrenaline junkie until 2 years ago when I was practicing on the top section. It's so thrilling, exciting, frightening, invigorating, crazy, beautiful that I finished and I was buzzed. And I realized it's that drug, it's that adrenaline. Except I like the driving thing. I love driving corners. Always have since I was a kid. Never cared much for drag races, for going fast in a straight line. I'll leave that up to the pilot in the airplane. But I like the corners, man. Lateral G's, I don't know. I also prefer land. I'm not much of a water guy. I'm not much of an airplane guy. I like land. I like mountain bikes, motorbikes, and cars. And I only like trucks if I'm off-road or if I'm towing. I would never daily drive a truck. I'm just not one of those guys. I'm a sporty car guy. I want to be in an MGB or a 4-cylinder Camaro turbo. So where was I? Friday night, I zoomed to the airport, fly out of Charlotte, out to San Francisco to drive down to Monterey. And there's a Tesla Corsa track day with Unplugged performance, all Tesla. And I get to try out the race car. And I've had a little help from another friend of Unplugged, Oscar Jackson Jr., who's been doing some test driving with the car out there. Oscar's a terrific driver, and I, in fact, know his father, which is something that happens more and more. Grandfather in some cases. And it's great. You know, it's really a family. Racing, road racing is a family. Or if not a family, it's a small world. So be careful who you're nice to, because 4 years from now, that guy might be right behind you on the last lap, and you got to wonder what he's going to do to win the race. And so Tesla Corsa, test the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Unplugged Performance Model 3. Then back to San Francisco, hop on a red-eye, fly overnight back to Charlotte, trying to catch the start of the race. I'm running with my buddies Jack. I'm running with Frank Resinetti, who has refreshed, redone the Happy Moose into the Flying Moose. Also driving with Greg Fuss, who has let me drive his car, a BMW 325, out on the West Coast many times. So I owe him, and I hope the Moose keeps running for everybody. And I'm all hot and sweaty because I was working on it today. We got to test up at Atlanta Motorsports Park, AMP, which is a great twisty track, really good for the Moose. And it handled well, but the charging system doesn't seem to be charging. We're going to look into that. I'm going to Advance Auto Parts to get their advice. Is it the charging system or the battery or what? Also, fuel pickup is not as good as we'd wish, but I never ran reserve, and I think we'll just run it on reserve all the time. And then the other issue was clutch is not engaging well on a shift. It's lazy. It doesn't come up real quick, which is weird, right? And I think I'm going to have Frank take a look at that because he's the one who put the whole clutch assembly in there. Just put a transmission together, a Volvo tranny from 2 dead ones. He made 1 live one. The good news is that worked. And then the other thing is the power just doesn't seem to be what it ought to be. And I don't really know what to do about that. There isn't that much anyway. But it seems like it ought to be more than it is. And I don't know what we're going to do about that. We will probably just live with it and have a good time. Maybe we can get down into Class A or whatever the slowest class in Lucky Dog is. So come out to Charlotte, say hi. Come out to Monterey, Laguna Seca, Tesla Corsa, say hi. We'll look for you there. It's going to be a big weekend of zooming across the country, having fun with car stuff, getting ready for Pikes Peak, and keeping up with Lucky Dog, my favorite racing pastime. And tell you what, be sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. It's good for us, and we'll keep making these videos, and we'll see you again on the next one.